Okay, and we're back. As you can see, I was having some internet issues with my stream here. So, if you're joining from YouTube at the moment, I'm just going to quickly run through what I was already explaining. Apologies to anyone who was waiting, who was watching in the stream and everything went pear-shaped. But I'm going to have to redo things just so that people understand on YouTube what I was talking about. So we have already loaded up the game as well. Nothing has happened. I've just been talking and doing a bit of an intro. So, long story short, great comments. Thank you very much everyone who has made comments on how to improve the owl. One of them is to use large shields. From my experience though, having armor in front of small shields tends to work better for tanking. The second comment was crew inefficiencies, because the owl wasn't crewed properly, that it was causing problems, especially in the right hand side. I think that's substantially right, long story short. Because at the moment, this is the only guy powering the shields, and they have two dedicated people to go to the weapons, as well as powering two lots of shields. Plus, there's a lot of walking around involved for them. So what I want to do, there's also some inefficiencies here that I was talking through. So we'll get to them and I'll talk them through as I actually do things as well, so I don't spend too much time repeating myself. I'm never a big fan of that. So what I'm going to do is basically redesign the owl so it's more crew efficient, rather than putting large shields. It may be the wrong call, but that's how it goes sometimes. I sincerely think though that having 3 small shields with some armor available to tank is going to put us in better stead than putting a large shield up the top, so that when it fails, it's going to start taking damage. I think large shields are probably really good on the sides of ships, or where you've got a bit of overhang armor and you're trying to shield a cavity or something. Alright, because then you've got better shields, but not as much danger of that the shield generator itself will start taking damage. That's my summary, and sorry it's a short summary. I really would like to thank the people making comments and suggestions, etc. I am listening to them. I am definitely considering them. I'm having, long and deep thoughts about them. So don't feel like I'm just ignoring what you're saying. I hear you, right? And I enjoy, people's suggestions. So keep them coming. But anyway, let's stop talking and let's start doing, right? So apparently the first thing I need to do is repair, because we lost a boost thruster. That's fine, we'll do that. And then, yeah, we've got this whole make it so sort of thing, because I was mucking about at the end of the last stream in terms of, hey, if we did put in large shields, how would it look? And what I was coming up with, 2 large shields and a couple of smaller ones, as well as 1 large shield on the left-hand side and a secondary smaller one. So we're going to ignore that. We're just going to discard those modifications and we're going to start again. And let's first turn on mirror mode. Yeah, I've been mucking about elsewhere as well. So right click so it's a vertical axis. There we are. And we're right there, cool. And we're going to select all the wings, and what I'm going to do is just pull the ship apart again so I can work on each section kind of independently without having to worry too much about messing up the other bits, and then we'll put it back together again. So we'll grab that. I think that's probably enough. Yep. We'll cut it and we'll just paste it out here. Alright, so we've got plenty of separation to make changes without causing issues. The other thought that I had is the direction of the wings as well. So at the moment they're winging up to make a reach forward sort of arrangement. What I'm thinking is that maybe I should actually have them wrap back down. And if I wrap them back down, then I'm going to have less issues with people taking angle shots at my thrusters. But the downside is that I think that it might get in the way of these missiles and I'll end up shooting myself with these missiles, particularly once it's actually hit static engagement and it's not really charging forward. Charging forward, it's not going to be a problem because they'll just shoot out and the owl goes forward and then they can wrap around. But I'm just a little bit concerned that we might shoot ourselves in the back with our own missiles. I'm not sure if friendly fire is a thing, but it would be a waste of firepower. But, you know, YOLO. I think I will do that. I think I'm going to run with a wraparound suggestion. That's probably going to put more pressure on the front as well. My own wraparound suggestion, not anyone else's, by the way. So, let's gut it. We'll remove these. And we'll keep the shape if we can. Then I'm going to tell it to cut and then flip like that. Because this is going to be the end shape here, kind of. Like so. Now it's not going to have scaffolding here, so we'll get rid of that straight away. We'll get rid of those corridors because that's not necessarily how it's going to end up. I'm going to reverse these feathers as well so that we think if it's wings like that, then the feathers kind of need to go down, don't they? Spiky things down. This is where it helps with having some kind of concept art on the side, I think, but I'll do my best. What we got here? Yeah, all right. So I want to keep my forward disruptors, I think. So if we were to nestle one at the kind of edge here, and then maybe a second up here. And the next thing is that I'm going to need is shielding. So 1, 2. I want armor in between, so 3, 4, maybe. All right. Then we're going to go with the medium reactors rather than small ones. Now, I'm pretty sure a single medium reactor, if this gets stressed, it's going to be taxed beyond capacity. So it might almost be worth as large as... Oh, they're expensive though. To buy 2 of them is going to be a lot. We'll go with a medium now until I've got a little bit more cash. I have ideas about cash as well. Or building materials more than cash is probably more accurate. Just get rid of these armor plates here, because we'll clear those out. Alright. So let's think about crew emplacements. And also transit. Almost be better if I could get this here and this here, I think. So we've got a bit more overlapping shields. And when this connects in, if it connects in, say, here, then we've got all this armor to get through first as well. Yeah, all right. And then we get a little bit of overlap here as well. And then the edge of the wings will be fine because it's just going to be armor out there. All right. In fact, we could almost do something like this. Just a little edge it a little bit closer. Okay. So, what do we want next? We want a way for things to get power to get to places. We're definitely going to want to reserve spots of armor in front of these shields. And we're going to, of course, we're going to want to crew everything as well. So, I don't know the perfect ratios here, just to be to clarify this as well. First, I'm going to stick a crew bunk over here. I'm going to call that the crew bunk for these two, right? So that's a dedicated crew. They don't have to any other job. And then I'm going to say that we have 2 crew for each shield. 1, and then like that. Alright, which means that I can't actually place this here, that's fine. I'll place it last, I think. So these guys are just going to be dedicated to a shield each. Then I think we want some crew is going to be dedicated to powering this and this. So I'm going to need walkways to get there. I think that works. And then in terms of crew emplacements, like that. 2 to power weapons, 2 to power this shield, 2 to power this shield. This should tax this shield beyond this reactor beyond belief. Like this reactor will most likely not keep up with the demands. We actually need to do that too. And we'll just make sure our front layering is correct. Get rid of you. Okay. So that, compared to the old owl, we've got, on our shielding and weapon emplacement, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So we're doubling the amount of crew required for this. And that's fine, because we should be getting a lot more out of it. Go to this and then say this. Just looking at just aesthetics now. Get that wing shape in. If you're wondering what about the brick emplacement, let's say you had a straight line beam here. If you've got a straight beam trying to dig through, then it has to dig through the entire of the 2 slot as opposed to single placement of armor. It's much more efficient use of armor by layering it in that manner. Alright, so we haven't changed our enarmament, we've upped our crew requirement, unfortunately. And I think, as a result, I'm going to drop down the number of missile silos I have for the time being. Now, we still want a engine room and some thrusters. think we'll sit that room, say there. Actually, we'll bring it in a little. It depends where I want to put these missiles, because if I put the missiles out of the edge here, that could be kind of interesting and reduce the risk that I shoot myself in the wing. But then the further out here that the thrusters go, the better off I'll be. Yeah, if I do this a little bit closer in, and we do a boost thruster here, and a boost thruster here. Oh, hang on. Game froze and misclicked. And then that brings it reasonably close to the reactor as well. So we can drop a door here, and then crew for powering, crew for the actual thingy thing. Thingy thing is a technical term. It's what all us Twitchers use, thingy thing. Alright, then we want missiles still. And as I said, I'm going to go with 2 instead of 1. Kind of want it just at the edge here, I think. And drop this a little bit closer in to this, yep. Because then it means I can drop missile storage here. And then in terms of crewing for our missiles, we will drop some bunks like so. Drop our doors like this. So we're probably going to end up with a limited supply of missiles here, but that's okay, because our only actually uses those missiles in certain circumstances. Now, it is putting pay to lie, though, or that this is just armor now. So we do have a bit of a risk in that we might see some things starting to dig through and take out our missile launchers, etc. But I think I'm okay with that risk. Alright, so let's think about this in terms of walk time and that sort of thing. Oh, I still need one more to crew that, I think. Hang on. 2, 4. These guys for here. These guys for here. These guys for here. Yeah, these guys to power those. Alright, we're good. Alright, so walk time. They're going to come out of here. They're going to grab a battery and walk it down here. So I can't get more efficient than that, I don't think. These guys are going to come out of here. They're going to grab a battery here and they're going to walk it over here. That's fine. These guys are going to come out of here. They're going to grab a battery, walk it up here, and then go back and forth between here. That's fine. These guys are going to come out here, walk down, grab a battery, walk it up here. That's fine. Now, in terms of enarmament power, I don't mind so much. Primary job of this is a tank, right? Not DPS. So I'm good if we don't get as much DPS out of it. Now, things that I'm missing at the moment, I need an airlock hatch, and I need a fire extinguisher. And then down here, I'm going to need the same. So we're going to put a fire extinguisher here in case we end up with a fire in that area. And then we're also going to drop an airlock hatch, which is going to lock them into the kind of the compartment. And again, I'm good with that. Because these guys will have no business being up here. So we'll start dropping in our layered armor technique. Cool. All right. So this is looking kind of promising, I think. And now we're just going to need to get to aesthetics and turn these back to looking like wings again. Because, yeah, they're just kind of globs. We can't have a glob on the owl. The owl is not a globby ship. Alright, first we'll focus on the interiors though. And then... So I think what I was saying is... Either we go like spiky out like this, maybe? Or either we go spiky on the downside, and this is where I was saying that concept art really helps a lot. So let's do a little bit of constructing Googling here. Our wings spread again. Just look at the images. And yoink it onto the screen so everyone else can see this. This is, this is how I'm getting my... So this is the original kind of concept art that I used to try and get the shapes and sort of feel right. So now I actually want the owl in kind of a... I want the wings spread, yes, but I want them in the downwards flap position. Um, Almost like this guy. This is probably our best bet at seeing that downwards flap position. Oh look, someone got a big owl tattoo. Cool. Good for you, man. Good for you. Yeah, I think this is what an owl actually does. It's just flapping the edges, and as opposed to the whole thing. That's kind of in the right thing, but the wrong angle. Yeah, there we go. This guy, or I actually just saw another one. This guy. This guy is probably our closest sort of match here. So we just want to pivot his shoulder so it's kind of out like this. But really, our spikiness still is kind of at the edges and then down below. So we're going to run with that as our concept image. I'm just putting that off to the side as well. And we'll see how we go with trying to match this. Yeah, it's really not the same. All right. We just flip this like this. So I think our best option is to do something along the lines here. Yeah. And then maybe something shorter. Flip again. It almost needs to come up one, but I don't want to mess with it. So instead, I'm going to do that. This is where design compromises the actual integrity of the ship, but hey, we gotta look cool. It's the main mission here, looking cool. And then, so they've kind of got a little muscular hump here, right? So we'll flip it. Yeah, there we are. I'm spending an amazing amount of time just getting the art right on this. There we are. Alright. Yeah, that's kind of wingy shape. We lose some of the spikiness here, but I think I'm going to have to deal with that. And then maybe we just kind of get around that by... I mean, unfortunately, I can't rotate these well enough to get kind of angles here. But maybe if I do something along the lines of like that. Yeah, this could be a shorter one, I think. Nope, 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 that was a bad idea. Shorter like that, I think, and then back to this. Yeah, yeah. I'm semi okay with that. Then we'll go like say this. It looks like it's dislocated its wings. Like it's kind of slumping. We got a dislocated owl here. Somebody call the vet. Yeah. Let's bring it in. And see, I've got a lot of space there now. We have a huge amount of interior space, in fact. Let's drop it there for the time being. But on the plus side, these wings are gonna cover our feet. We will no longer have our foot shut off. This is a good thing. Now, my options here to fill in this gap are either scaffolding or armor or storage. And the other thing I could do is just make it storage, right? That's a legitimate option, depending on the weight requirements. So what's the 4x4 storage weigh? Hello, autosave. Wait, give me 4 tons, all right. 0.33. Was it 4? Yeah, 4.33 versus 3. All right, so this would be 12 tons to fill in a gap like this. This would be, what, 1.2 or so. All right, so storage is equal to armor, basically. No, storage is lighter than armor, but heavier than structure. Still not happy with the non-spikiness here. I could make this part spiky. It would just be the slump here that really does need armor, in particular here, because that's a vulnerable spot. Sorry, I just figured I'd get back to where I can see people in chat if they drop in. I have a bad habit of ignoring people and then realizing later on that people are talking at me. It's like, oh, hi, hi guys, I'm sorry. I mean, in future this could be a deck cannon. I don't like mixing up ammo too much, but it is a possibility. And we could have a little deck cannon either side and go pew pew at our enemies from close range. If we do that, all right. Actually, we're not going to do that because we're going to make some changes in the middle here as well. All right. So, middle efficiency is the next thing. So if we were to look at what the medium reactors here power, they are currently powering the point defense at the front and these 3 reactors, as well as the hyperdrive when needed, these point defense at the back, and the cockpit. So that's a lot. In particular, it's these crew quarters that power everything. So that means that one person can get called to the reactor. They could then be called up to power this, at which point they'll grab something from here, wander around, go up here, go across here, up here, and then power it. Then they'll have to trek back, pick up another thing, and they could go to this one. So there's a lot of wasted movement possible here. Even if it's just between these shield guys, they could come out here, grab a battery, come across here, go in here, drop off the battery, come back, grab a battery, come across here, drop off the battery. Whereas if we had, say, a crew quarters here whose only role was to power this shield here, then they come out, pick up a battery, and just move across this space here, it's a lot more efficient. So what we're going to do is remove this section here, and I'm going to think about moving this around, as well as how this point defense actually ends up being powered. We may even move it up here onto the wings again, and give these wings kind of more of a reason for being beyond just providing a target. Anyway, so let's think about this in terms of, we don't want to delete things, we just want to move it around. First up, we need this forward to be able to power these guys, I think. So if we moved our point defense down a little, right? That could be our first win by moving this back. Still covers it, barely, but moves it back a little bit. We'll also get rid of this. And then we can then put a crew bunk assignment here. They can walk straight in and just power there. Alright, so that's one thing powered. Then the next one is these guys. I'm actually going to move them across, I think. I'm going to put that here, a crew bunk like so. Oh, actually, no, I don't want to move them across. We're going to keep them like that. Alright, these guys will power the shield, nothing else. That's their deal. And then we've got the final option here, and I think we want to move the small shield generator here, put a corridor up like so, and then make this our new way to power the point defense. So we can drop armor here, we can drop armor here then. We'll properly layer things as well. I might mess around with that in a bit. But it means that we can put a crew bunk here, whose sole job is then to power this. But then we have also options in terms of how are we going to power the point defense. And my thoughts are here is that it might be best with a capacitor. So if we had a capacitor, say, here. First, it's behind 2, possibly 3 shields. So that's pretty good. It's then behind armor. It's separated from our shields with some armor as well, so its explosive potential is contained to an extent. We can drop like so. And then we'll want to power it, or we'll want to put crew to power it specifically. So then these guys can come in here, grab power, come up, and drop it off here. But then we need crew to actually... So at the moment I'm running on the same, just slightly above the same amount of crew, but I've reduced the amount of crew on missiles as well. So overall, I think I'm looking at a net increase at the moment. How am I going to do this? I think instead we're going to get rid of that. this in like so. Actually, is there any benefit for that? Maybe not. Hmm. Thinking this through, sorry. Yeah, there is no benefit to what I just did. In fact, there's a detraction. So we're going to do that. And we're going to keep that like that. Drop in that. Door, door, door. Cool. Door here, so I can get power out here as well. Now, these guys, the spare crewman, is the guy that's going to be grabbing power to crew this, basically. So what I'm going to be doing here is these guys are our point defense guys. Their job is to first service the point defense. And then secondary fill up the capacitor. I think that will work. Maybe, fingers crossed, possibly not. Yeah, I think I want those crew a little bit further up, so we're going to drop them here. Going to drop armor there as well, so if something drills through, yeah, that's a problem. We've got a straight kind of almost a straight shot to get through the ship with this corridor here. So I almost want to put like a kink in the road or something. But if I put the kink here, then it's vulnerable here. If I put the kink here, then it's vulnerable straight through here. We'll leave it stand because it's not a direct shot at the reactor. So worst case, they'll drill down through here if you've got a perfect aligned shot. Past the shields, of course, as well. And then you'll get to here, and what can you take out? You can take out the hyperdrive. Not critically essential. All right. And I think that about does it. So we'll just grab these, and we're going to cut them. Just drop them in closer. Drop here, all right. Now we do want armor on the bottom here. The question becomes whether or not this point defense is actually going to do anything useful anymore. I don't think it will. I think it will actually need to be further out here to actually provide any kind of benefit or coverage specifically. So what I might do is when these guys aren't busy, they can also power these point defense, which means we can drop back to structure here. We're just going to put a thin layer of armor here. I'm not going to go anything particularly thick because I think if something gets in and down and through here, there's a lot more vulnerable parts that the things could be shooting at, right? So I think it's going to be less of a concern for us if things are shooting in here. I mean, it's going to be a concern, of course, but the owl should not get into that position, and we should see less shots being a problem as well. I think my problem with the wings here as well is actually a lack of bulk in the right locations. So we're starting up here, and then we're doing this sudden slump, and then we go into spikiness. But I just need to keep the field of fire clearer. So I think what should happen is that these guys come out like this a little bit more, which is going to increase the um, amount of time it takes to refill them with ammo or energy, I should say. But aesthetically, I'm happier with that. And what I might do is make you a triangle, you a triangle, you a triangle, and you a triangle. You can be a twofer, and you can be a bit more angled. I think this little hump here just doesn't make sense anymore. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, aesthetically, I'm a bit more happier. A bit happier, I should say. A bit more happier. Who taught me grammar? Jesus. Just drop some armor here. There's always a chance that we get a few shots coming through here and we don't want it to break apart that easily, so we'll just drop some armor here and here to make it as good as possible. And then I think we're just looking at the structural elements and whatnot to make it look somewhat sane. Like so, like so. Probably just do that. Yeah, okay. We'll go with structure. Now I could go with storage, but I think speed is important. Speed is something that I have been neglecting on my ships, and I think that has been a mistake that I've been making. Alright, so these missiles shouldn't shoot ourselves because they're far enough out. We've moved our thrusters a little bit in, which means that its turning capacity will be reduced somewhat. How much are we? We're gonna have to spend some money making it so. Largely on steel, strangely enough. How much steel have we got? We've got 6k. So we might want to take the Trodoc out to farm up some steel as well. But I think we're looking at the next iteration of the owl. And I think that this is going to help a fair bit. Now, because I do have a few credits saved up, I'm just going to go ahead and make it so here. I think. Yeah, we're going to make it so. I know I haven't made it so, I'm just thinking, give me a break here. Have I missed anything? Have I missed anything? I'm hoping not. I don't know, I kind of feel like he's, you know, like, come at me, bro, do you even lift? Anyway, cool. Make it so. Cool. Alright, everyone got ejected into their spacesuits. So the next thing that we want to do is set up our priorities and that sort of thing. So you guys are going to service that. You guys are going to service that. You guys service that. You guys service that. We've got mirror mode on. Yeah, good. Okay. Now these guys can also be servicing these in addition to the control thing. Then we want these guys to do these. You're going to do that. You're doing that. You're doing that. You guys are just going to man those, and you guys are going to service those. Then you guys are both assigned there because you're either supplying power or you're operating it. Then we have these guys just working on that. We've got some hypercoils for some reason there, so we'll want to eject those or transfer them over. Now that's mirrored it all up for us. Then let's go into power management. So you're no longer doing that. You guys are running those, and the capacitor is the deal. And the capacitor is powering these. In terms of your deal, man, you're gonna power that. You don't need to power that because it should get all its power from the engine room. If you're wondering why I'm specifying this, if I don't specify things, then there's a chance that someone will jump into an airlock to take power over to another place if they're assigned to the whatchamacallit, reactor. So it's just more of a precaution for them doing, you know, the guys doing silly things that I didn't anticipate than an actual need. But I just want to be very certain about things. I mean, I've got no one directly assigned to the reactor, so it should be fine, but still. Okay, so in terms of storage, turn off this. You guys should all be missiles. Yes, I know hit control, but it's I don't think it works as well when you've got other things in the storage. And then we will want to tell this to go out, and we'll have something else pick it up. I think on the other side we're all clear. Yep. All right. We have an owl that will hopefully be a lot beefier. So effectively what we've done is doubled the shielding that we're running, and we have hopefully also increased the effectiveness of this thing as well. Now unfortunately I have also upped the crew requirement a little here as well. So we can see that some things aren't being powered because it just doesn't have crew in the bunks anymore. And yeah, that's a pain. The other thing that I want to do is streamline the areas a bit as well. In particular, I think it's not taking hits. I'm going to reduce its armor and I want to slim that down basically so it's faster, and maybe redesign these thruster engine things so I can get another forward thrust in there by moving this down somewhere so that it's still got some kind of protection on the thruster from incoming shots, because it will occasionally get a missile or something heading for it. But increasing our forward thrust capacity a fair bit is the idea. We also need to do some painting on the owl. I've been neglecting it for a long time. So what I might do, let's go to the crewing. Hey, you and you, nope, you, yeah. Can't reach. Why can't you reach, man? You should have a... Oh, did I? Oh, I know what I did. Oops. One thing I forgot to do was give them airlocks. Oops. Alright, so we're gonna go airlock hatch. I think here is gonna be fine. And I'm pretty sure they don't have fire extinguishers anymore as well. Cool. Alright, yeah, we got a guy coming along already. He's like, hey man, I've just been waiting for it. Got 2 guys, in fact. Excellent. 3 guys. They're all volunteering. Alright, we'll go back to crewing though, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to want more people. Yep, so you can be assigned here. Grab you and you. You can be assigned to this one. You and you be assigned to this one. You and you can be assigned to this one. That should take care of that side, I think. Then we'll have excess crew down here as well. You and you. I want you assigned to here. You can be assigned there. Need one more over there, I think. Alright, so we've got 5 guys on this side and 1 guy here. So it seems fair that we go, say 1, 2, drop them in there. And then yeah, we've got equal crewing. But most importantly, we've got the most important crew parts crewed now, which is the defensive systems for this vessel. Now, the other thing that I want to do here, we're just going to do some crew rolls first. Edit this roll, so I'm going to make it white. Just so I know who's on the default settings. And then I want a special role for these guys. So point defense, make them kind of a greeny color. We'll set all priorities to 1. Now, fire extinguisher, really important. Next priority is point defense system. Supply batteries for it. Final priority will be power capacitors. Supply batteries for that. So what that should mean is that they'll supply our point defense systems before they go to replenish the capacitors. So essentially what will happen is that we'll run down the capacitor for the point defense, and then we'll see the point defense go down in terms of its capacity to defend us. However, by that stage, most shields will be failing. We'll probably have reduced numbers of points defense and that sort of thing. So this is open as well. That's not the best. Okay. Do we have spare crew? Just double check that I have got 4. Oh, we can hire another 4 people as well. Great. So off you come, guys. You're going on an adventure. Now I'm pretty sure the Trodoc as well has some missiles that can transfer some resources over to the Owl. Yep. You can initiate that transfer. How many people are on the Trodoc at the moment? There's 10. Okay, so this might take, yeah, our guys from the Owls are taking care of it. Where's Kestrel? Alright, Kestrel is up here. The main thing that I want to do with the Kestrel as well, sorry, I know this is a design heavy stream as well, it's intentionally so. But the main thing I want to do with the Kestrel is put in some more small reactor cores here and basically reduce the number of railguns each crew bunk needs to supply from 8 to 4. So that's the main thing to be done there, so that basically we can shoot perpetually with those railguns. As it stands, then it can't auto fire forever. The other thing that happens here is that I may have overcrewed the back here. Because these guys are what? They're all about shielding at the moment, or supplying this. What happens? Yeah, so they're both working on that. And this large reactor, what are you supplying? You are supplying the point defense down the side, but otherwise you're supplying engines. This. I'm not sure it really needs that many people doing that role. So I could probably save a few crew members here and move them into powering that railgun. So that's a thing that will need to happen. I think though, before I go any further, I want to see what happens to the owl now. You know, have we genuinely improved things? So I'm going to make these to be just fire at target as well. You and you can be 1, you and you, oh, whoops, can be 2. You can auto fire, but otherwise I'll be able to direct them if I need to. And we're pretty much crewed up, ready to go. This side is going to shoot missiles. Oh, really? Really, dudes? You've got... Chuck it out of the airlock. Trodoc, do you have more... Why don't you have more missiles? Because at the moment, you're running on minimal crew. That makes sense. So we'll transfer some dudes from the Ares to the Trodoc. I'm actually kind of happy with the owl shape here. It's not as good as the forward-facing wings. I think that it's just naturally a little bit better there, but I'm not, you know, super unimpressed or anything like that. All right, cool. We've got heaps of missiles now. We can transfer these resources to the owl and make sure that's all filled up. We can also make sure that we grab those things that we just chucked out the airlock. Alright, the Trodoc can now transfer its crew back to the Ares. But yeah, the Ares is going to be in for an upgrade as well. So I haven't forgotten about that. But I think for now, we're going to go test out and see if the owl can work out. The other thing I was thinking around as well, I'd be very interested to hear people's opinions, is at the moment we're running point defense up here with people, right? So we're spending 4 crew essentially to do that at the moment. I'm wondering if I just make that solid armor and then have some point defense corvettes kind of off the side of the owl that are designed to intercept incoming, and that's all they do, is have some mobile point defense separate entirely from the actual main ship. I'm wondering if anyone's ever done that, if they've found that it works or not, as the case may be. Yeah, I'm very interested in people's feedback there. But we do have a fugitive bounty down here, and I think that's going to be our testing ground. So let's go see what happens. And if this works out as well, I'm going to, once we've tested it out, we'll spend some time painting the owl, and maybe not the other ships because I do want to redesign them a little bit, in particular areas, but the Kestrel needs some minor things too. But if this works out with the owl, then I think it's worth a lick of paint, especially with the new shape in place. And we've got an unknown signal down here. The owl definitely has the speed advantage on these ships as well. That's part of the reasons why I want to slow. Oh, there we go. Why I want the Ares to have a bit of a redesign. I think it needs to be faster so it can get in and actually support our ships properly. All right, so he's coming in. We'll tell the owl to go ahead and engage. Alright, here we go. We've got a Wayward. Now, these are an interesting ship to fight. They've got a couple of disruptors, which are a pain, but they've also got some ion beams and a few cannons. And while you can shoot off this end of it, all the vulnerable bits are over here. So, our plan of attack on this guy is going to be move the Ares in like so. I'm just going to make sure on the Ares that these... Yep, okay. So, we will tell them to target, and we're going to tell them to try and target the AMP and missiles on this as it comes in and engages. In the meantime, the Kestrel is going to come in along the side here, and its primary target is going to be this was going to say this reactor off the side, but really I want these iron beam prisms. But I think that reactor would do as a target. So we're going to slow right down, and we're going to really focus on the owl and see how it actually takes on this fight. The other thing I do need to do is target these, and we're not going to use our missiles in this fight is the other rule. I want to see how it goes at just tanking this on. Its own point defense is taking out those cannon shots, that's fine. And then we're starting to see those disruptors come in and take on the shields, and we've got our guys all starting to go out. Now, if this was a large shield, it wouldn't have quite have failed yet, but these disruptor shots would have penetrated and hit the shield. In this case, these guys now have a chance to start tanking because we have armor sitting behind it, so I'm still happy with what I'm doing there. The Ares is starting to creep on the side. The Kestrel... Oh, wait. Its final rotation needs to be more like this. Unfortunately, the Owl can't really get away, so it's kind of stuck in this close engagement point, which is maybe not the best for us. The Ares can stop firing. Just pause that target. And then as soon as it's around, it's going to get that alpha strike onto. Alright. So what's going on? We did just disable its... Oh no, we've drained some power here, but not enough to actually turn off those cockpits. Now, we've suffered a little bit of damage here, but not much else. It's really focusing in on these guys, that's fine. Our shields are down, but we've got some shielding coming back online now. These guys are online again. Yeah, that's pretty good. Alright, the Kestrel can actually cancel its move and rotate now. So it can take that shot at the reactor core here, I think. And then the Ares is probably in its position to start shooting at the cockpits. We'll slow down even further, just so we can keep on analyzing here. So that point defense is going to, get ruined. And it's interesting to see that they've actually switched targets. Their now priority is on the front of our ship rather than anything else. Here comes those shots from the Ares, wreaking havoc on their engines. In fact, I think the Kestrel can switch targets so that its targets are going to be that and then that. And then we'll rotate like so. Maybe the other way. Alright, we've got a couple of deck cannon shots coming in. Oh, it's blown up its main reactor, and it's all over for the Wayward. So, what sort of damage did we take on the Owl? They took down a point defense. That's okay. They put down a little bit of armor here and a little bit of armor here. Hello, Brass Gecko. Welcome to chat for the first time. I'm actually pretty happy with how that engagement ended up going. Hey, stop shooting. Stop committing war crimes. Shooting the poor little guys who are trying to abandon ship. Thank you. It's just had a redesign. Because it kept on having its wings shot off. Also, Night Leader, welcome to chat as well. And we got all these colourful mules. Hang on, I remember like blue muffalos. That's it. They look like muffalos from RimWorld. But yeah, the owl has just had a significant redesign. It used to have forward wings instead of backwards wings, but it kept on getting its wings shot off, so that's one of the reasons, as well as its thruster clusters kept on getting blown off. But that was a fairly successful test, I think. That's one down. I think we're going to go with a second test, just in case it was a bit of a fluke or something. Areas didn't take hits. Owl took minimal. Yeah, alright. So we'll run the areas off to the side here again. And the Kestrel can do the same. We'll just go check out what that was. And we'll go seek out some more enemies once the Kestrel gets in position, of course. There we are. What's this? It's a carbon asteroid. Probably worth marking. I'm going to need some more diamonds. And we'll go for this one. What is that? Just a fugitive bounty. I think I've taken out a... No, there's a pirate base up here that we could go for as well. I don't get any more fame from the bounties in the system, so it's all about testing and getting ready for the next one. Because if these guys can't handle these ones properly, then we've got no hope of any others. Oh, it's a spare station too. Tinfifo base. That's a cool design. I don't think I've seen one looking like this before. Yeah, it's got a heap of flak, EMP missiles, beam cannons. Yeah, that'd suck. Without rails, of course. Rails would just clean it up. And these guys' obsession with staying in formation is going to really cause problems here. Come on. Come on. You can do it, Kestrel. Just go this way, man. Yeah, they can rotate the station to get the beams. Favorite weapon so far? I think early game, then I would say the rail cannons are definitely the more effective in terms of just being able to target a particular subsystem and dig through to it and getting the most loot out of it. I'm next. I really want to like deck cannons, but I'm not sure how much I will in the end because they do a lot of damage and they're hard to target specifically. So yeah, I've yet to see nukes and I've yet to see mines and I've yet to use um, beams, ion beams. But yeah, railguns are my favorite at the moment in terms of effectiveness. They're great. In terms of putting them on a ship though, then they've got to be shielded. So that's why I've got it. The Owl is a kind of a tanking ship. The Kestrel is a support ship. And then I've just recently made the Ares to give us a broadside potential, but it needs a redesign as well. All right, we've got more coming in here, so we'll send the Kestrel off to the side. The Ares can start going like this, and the Owl can just kind of try and grab its. Deck cannons need a very aggressive ship. Yeah, okay, that's good to know. I'm thinking with the Ares that we slimline it. It's a little bit fat at the moment, shall we say, to make it faster. And then if I do that, I'm also thinking getting rid of its EMPs and just um, making the deck guns more efficient, basically. So it can run off to the side or just slide in behind it, shoot off deck cannons, and punish it for its inappropriate facing, shall we say. Alright, so we've got a couple of beams, a couple of cannons coming in here as well. I don't think this is going to be a tough fight, but, you know, I've had things go wrong when I say that before. Point blank, so they can get past point defense too as well. And any distance in the accuracy is non-existence. Yeah, they don't have the highest fight range as well. If we go like this, we can see that its engagement range is really that smaller, or that second small circle here. So it's not huge. You've got to be in close anyway. Hence why I'm going like that with it, and then it'll open fire then on command. Whereas the Kestrel, if we tell it to attack here and then rotate, I think, these two thin lines, that's its range. It's actually already in range of, oh no, it's not far off range, sorry, of this guy. But I always like to get my rails off to the side because so that I'm ignoring all the front shielding and that sort of thing. On this particular vessel, I want to take out the cockpit as well, is the idea, so I might as well target my rails now, and we'll get the owl to come in and engage. So about this distance. Alright, we'll see how the owl goes on the next one. Point defense taking out those cannon shots, no worries. Yeah, we're good. Alright. So the main threat are these beam weapons, but they're only fairly light beams as well. So what I think I'll do is tell these guys to attack one each. Those are disruptors. Railgun flanking is about the strongest thing here, and welcome bad for beans. Alright, we've got the areas coming in now, so we'll target it up, and the Kestrel has been flanking off to the wrong direction, so I'll get it to turn around. But I think the Ares is going to do what we want it here. Here's those deck cannon shots coming in. Didn't really hit where I wanted to. So yeah, the point about accuracy is definitely made. In the meantime, I'm very curious. Yeah, it's not even getting past the shields, just the increase in efficiency. Yeah, there's that second shot. Has made the owl a lot more effective at its job. Like, super more effective at its job by just splitting up the crew bunks from a single crew bunk into one each for each of the shields and putting their placement in the optimum positions so they don't have to run all that far to replenish these things. I think that's helped out a huge amount. We're taking bugger all damage now. Bit of a rough trip to the point defense. Yeah, it is. It's its weakness. Really, I need more crew to be dealing with this because these guys prioritize first to replenish the point defense, and only then will they go and replenish the capacitors. Yeah, so the railguns are already targeted, so to be on rail fanning, so they're in target mode already, but it is a good suggestion for anyone who is just getting used to the game, then yeah, target mode and rail fanning is the way to go, absolutely. So you're sweeping across the point where you want to shoot. That's the idea, Brass Gecko, yeah, getting through most of the fight to take out any kind of alpha strike that they're bringing in. And then they're going to run out and reduce efficiency. Capacitors have a default priority of 1. Yeah, so I've made a specific role for these guys. So if we go to the point defense role, and we go to job priorities here, then to defenses, top priority is always to extinguish fires. Next one is point defense, and then we go to the power supply battery to capacitors is 8. And then we also have an assignment down to that capacitor, and then that capacitor is set to supply only to those point defense. So we've got a nice little chain. Yeah, that's it. Ultimately, more crew is the better method here. I completely agree. Its crew is the limiting factor of my fleet at the moment, though, as well. And what I'm thinking here is that I may end up removing the point defense entirely from the owl and doing a couple of point defense corvettes. I just don't know if anyone else has tried that before, how effective it's going to be or not, as the case may be. And certainly I'm just aware that I'll have nukes coming up as well, which which will change the game a little bit because I don't think you can tank them very well from what I've heard. As in, you really better dodge them or stop them from hitting you at all, rather than just taking them on the chin. So that could be the end of our series of ships themselves, but we'll see what happens. Didn't meet nukes until level 15 or 16. That's good. I've got a little bit of from none to banks of 6 to 8. Okay, yeah, that'll be fun. All right, but I think that's proved that our concept or the upgrade has worked a fair bit. I'm thinking I want to run one more test though. Let's be sure about this. Oh god, I need more efficient Hyperion on my ships too. Otherwise the owl won't make it to the next system. I think if I move them out more to the flank or something, maybe here it should increase the efficiency. And I gotta wait for the other ones. Kestrel will be last because it's got 4 of them. There we go. Move them out. Move the Trodoc out of the way because I just know it's going to get in the way. Speed. Form the Kestrel up like that. Form the Ares off to the side. And we're good to go. Just keep an eye out as I fly through this asteroid belt, in particular for tritanium, which is something I need. And then I'm also after uranium if I see it. I'm just going to check out what this is on the way there. Probably just a hyper jump. Yeah, and that's the Imperium is I want to start shooting them as well. So I've made an arbitrary goal in this series that if I encounter Imperium ships, then I need to start attacking them. So I'm going to need ships that are able to take on nukes. Alright, got a bounty up here. We'll just increase speed until he actually notices us. Yep, here he comes. Alright, same deal. Oh, is the Ares on the right? Yeah, it's on the wrong side for its engagement. That was a bit of a stupid mistake. That's alright. It can go forward and then flip. Ah, missile boat. Alright, this guy looks like the caterpillar from hell. And the last time we encountered it with the previous version of the owl, it ended up bisecting off a wing. Just because there's a few people new to the stream as well, the previous owl looked like... where is it? This. So same basic shape, but the wings were forward. And essentially the missiles went through here. I think it may have taken out this reactor, I can't remember. But we had some serious inefficiencies with the shield replenishment and that sort of thing, so that's why I did a redesign. Alright, so we will get into position like so. I think in this run, I'm happy to use the missile launchers on the owl. We will send the Ares out. Oops. I'm going to send the Ares out a bit before it comes in to engage. And the Kestrel can run off like this and be like that. Alright, we'll see how that goes. We're taking out a fair bit of the incoming first, that's good. That's what we want to see, but I reckon make skinny ships that can zoom sideways. I'm guessing that's good for the Imperium. Yeah, okay. As in, so they can just dodge the nukes or something. What do we want? Ideally, I want to keep all this intact so for good salvage, but I think the reactor might be the way to shoot. And then we'll start moving him in a little bit closer. Go down to half speed so I can react to things. We also didn't have the Ares. Yeah, okay, so we're starting to work through the armor a little bit here. But we've still got one shield up. Wonder how much Pleiade or flak would be needed versus the 34 nuke ship. I have no idea. That just sounds scary though. Now I'm going to run the Ares out like this instead, and then tell it to start targeting. We haven't been using the Kestrel much in these engagements as well, so I'm just going to tell it to start bearing on target like so, and to aim for the reactor. Yeah, I reckon there'd be a lot, because I think from memory those nukes really require a lot of to take them down. Okay, yeah, now we're starting to see it dig through. I thought that might have been our weak point, and I'm unhappy to be proven right. Because if we get a few more there, then it's going to start digging through. So what we might do is rotate the owl, so it's going to present the other wing for them to attack. Actually, it's not going to matter. Because it's gone. Alright, so effectively we lost a crewman for a start, because he would have been ejected into space as soon as that blew up. We lost a disruptor. We took a little bit of damage to our shield generators themselves. Lost some PD. But that was the most expensive thing to lose. Interesting. Yes, that's right, Night Leader. We have a bird. It's officially flapped its wings. Alright, we're just gonna break this apart. And that should replenish the missiles I just spent as well. Oh, no, we don't want to make it so, because that will be a step backwards. Cool. Alright, I also haven't seen any roaming pirates up here, so that's a good thing. With a pirate base up there, but I also said that I would paint this thing as well. Oh, I said we didn't have any roaming pirates. We're going to go take him out so that we can potentially go for the speed up. it's another one. Okay, so yeah, this may put us in a bad position, but that's fine. No, not like that. We're gonna back off. Back off in that direction if you can. And this is where the Aries and the Kestrel being slowpokes is not helping. Alright, the Aries is coming in now. It can go for that reactor. It's going to come off to the side here. But it does have a little bit of point defense, so it should be able to start helping out the owl here. There we are, we've got it. Got it in the bag. Ah, no! Yep. Yeah. Stop the fires, please. Should have slowed down. Yeah, in the bag. In the bag, and we lose half the ship. See, as soon as I say that things are going well, then things do not go well. I'm hoping that I caught that on camera so I can actually, like if I had things angled right, so I can actually replay and see what happened there. But I think I may have been pointing in the wrong direction. Oh, and I've just painted that in too. It's alright, I can tear apart my own ship. No! Alright. I think that's a lesson learned. Don't engage with the owl unsupported. It's a lesson that I keep being taught, but keep not listening to. Ah, there's a hyperjump beacon nearby. That's handy. We can get the Trodoc up here to help with repairs. We've run out of crew as well. Some people died who didn't really want to die. Go in there, man. And you can go there. Speed up, because this is kind of the boring part. Oh. Really? Hypercoils are the things we're out of? I did not expect that. Like 3 more. Seriously? I need to transfer more crew. We'll take it from the Aries, actually. There is another wreck up here and another wreck down here, though, we can grab the necessary coils from. Just grab what we need from here first. Got plenty of missiles. Yep, good. Cool. Pull them off the owl. Like so. And the Aries should still be working, hopefully. So I can keep up. Ah, wrong one. Down here first. Oh, you meant it? Oh, you got an owl emoji. That's awesome. I want an owl emoji now. That wasn't a wreck. Tell them to form on the Trodoc instead, because that's the main ship at the moment. Actually, I need that copper. I can make hypercoils out of that. Yeah, that's all I need at the moment. And we'll grab what we can here too, but there should hopefully be enough to finish repairing. Yeah, there we are. Well, that was an unfortunate. I think despite that mishap, then I'm still actually fairly happy with the owl redesign. Oh, what was that? Have I left people behind? Nope. No, we're good. Alright. Usually that's the thing. We'll grab the titanium on the way back. I might see if I can grab some of these wrecks and everything as well, because I think these have yet to be harvested. I'm probably going to need copper again now. Going to need to be a fairly big mining session coming up. Spending a lot on upgrades, and I still want to upgrade a little bit more. Hey, another titanium. We do have incoming. Crap. Go to the Aries, please. And the owl is going to be undercrewed, so this will be kind of interesting. You guys head there. You guys head there. And Kestrel, you're going to have to hold them off while we get prepared. Because I think they're going to intercept us. Move the Aries in. Turn it around as well. These guys are coming into position. I should see two guys here. Yeah, they're starting to fill up the shield. Good. We'll move up. And we'll move the owl off like that. Oh, he's going to bounce away. Come back and fight me, pirate. All that panic for nothing. Oh well, it's probably a good thing anyway, because we are now a little bit better prepared. Move guys back to the Trodoc. We'll do what we actually came here to do. Decent sized copper void over here too. So we'll go grab that. Oh, come on, man. I swear the pathfinding in this game can just be infuriating. how much time have I got left? All right, so there's not much time left in this stream as well. Unfortunately, I've got other commitments. So let's cap off what we're gonna finish off doing. I think I might just take everyone back to base. We'll grab this wreck on the way, and that will be it, I reckon. Just because I'm running out of time, so we'll send him down there. I'll get down there independently, that's fine. There's tri-steel on the way. There's also gold here. The wreck's still around? Yep, it is. Good. Really? You're picking up asteroids on the way here? Come on. There you go. That's better. You don't need the additional mass. You're big enough as it is. Yeah, I think I will go with point defense corvettes for the owl. Maybe I won't reduce its point defense that it has per se, but in the last few fights, it was really the big missile ships that could launch salvos after salvos that was taking it down now, and I think it's because its point defense drains out and then we're in trouble. So if we have a couple of corvettes just kind of sitting off to the side of it that can keep up with it pretty well, then it should increase the defensive capabilities a fair bit. Alright, let's move everything back to base. And then once we hit base, then that will be end of stream today, unfortunately. So thank you everyone for joining me. I will be trying to stream again this weekend. It might be later tonight, it might be tomorrow morning if I can do it. I do have a few other commitments, however, that can't be avoided and are important as well. So as a result, if you're watching later on YouTube, then sorry guys, there's probably not going to be so much content this week. I'll be sticking to my normal streaming schedule, however, so the next scheduled one is definitely Tuesday evening, and I will try and be online prior to that, but if I can't, then I can't, and because I have a Christmas event and a funeral to attend, and yeah. So thanks very much, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Appreciate the feedback as well. And I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you in the next stream. Cooks out.